Hey everybody, welcome to a beautiful sunny day. You can see I'm actually sweating. It's proper summer today, as cold as it was yesterday, so that's really cool. Today I want to talk about something else that I find really interesting. You know, we moved from South Africa because of crime, and that's what that was our main concern, safety. And the thing is, don't think there's no crime in Vancouver or in Canada. There's definitely crime. I was reading a whole article about how car thefts and vehicle thefts are jumping up in Toronto and on the East Coast. It's just like going crazy. They like stealing these Ford Raptor trucks and things like that. But the funny thing is, in this whole article was about how they've stolen like 4,500 cars so far this year or something like that. It's enormous numbers, and it's tripled the amount of stolen cars. And then they were talking about how a lot of these people have trackers in their cars. Now, you know, in South Africa, if your car gets stolen, those guys are so smart that tracker is out within a flash, because they know every car's got a tracker and they quickly take care of it. Yeah, the whole article went about how people would steal the car, then the guy would track the car with his tracker. One guy hid a Apple Air tag in his car, so he would track the car. They would find the car, and they would call the cops and be like, hey, my car was stolen, the one that I reported stolen, I'm standing right next to it, it's sitting here in this parking lot, can you come? And then the cops never arrive. It's just like they say, the cops never come. And the problem that they have is these guys, when they steal the truck or when they steal the vehicle, they reprogram the key. So even if the owner is there with his old key, it doesn't work, because what they do is they steal the car, they park it, they leave it there for like a day or so just to check what's happening, and then they, what was this? Then they come back and they take the car and they put it in a container and they ship it overseas. And the whole article was about how the cops don't do anything. The cops don't arrive. The cops just don't show up. I mean, these guys who had their car stolen in this article, they're like, yeah, so we went to the car, we took all our personal belongings out, and then we left the car because, waited there for the cops for a couple of hours. They ended up not coming. The one guy had a tracking system that tracked the vehicle from where it was stolen to where they parked it, where he went and fetched his stuff, and then it went to another place, and then it went to another place a week later, where it was pulled into a container. He was like, you could see from the movements, reversing forward, it's like the car's actually being pulled into the container before it goes on the ship. And all of this, he had tracking, but the cops never arrive. They say the cops there is more a situation of, you report the car stolen, and then they go, all right, sir, don't go close to the car. If you find it, stay away, don't take it, leave it, and here's your case number so you can claim from insurance. And then at the end of the article, they were actually speaking about what the issue was. And the issue was the chief of police in Toronto said that, the cops are not trained to deal with car theft, so they've now set up a car theft ring that can trace that, because it was never such a big issue. Anyway, funny. But anyway, so lots of car thefts in Toronto apparently. And then of course the other side of crime, something that I've seen, was it 3 times now already? Yeah, no, twice. 2 times, the London drugs. One time we were in London drugs down in Dunderave. We're standing there, and the manager lady came running there, and she's like, where did he go? And a guy just walked in there, basically walked into the store, took a bunch of stuff from the shelf and walked out on the other side put it in his backpack and walked out the other side. And they have him on camera, and I spoke to her for a bit, and she says, well, it's a daily occurrence. And it's the same guys. They come in and they just take stuff. And as staff, they're not allowed to do anything. They're not allowed to actually stop the guy or search him or do anything. They're just told to stay away. And then also the London drugs down here in Park Royale, we had the same thing. We were standing there, and this lady came running up, and she's like, that guy just stole blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what he took, and he just walked off. And the guy we were talking to there, he was actually telling us, he's like, in the beginning, the guys would come in he says it's a lot of the homeless people coming from East Van. So what they do is they jump on the bus because, you know, they can ride the buses for free. How it works is you can get on the bus and you're expected to pay, but if you don't have money, you can still ride the bus. They will take you. So what they do is they get on the bus for free, they come to Park Royale, they walk into the London drugs and they steal stuff. He says in the beginning, the guys would be like a little bit discreet. He says now, guy walks in, looks him in the eye, takes the backpack from the shelf, walks to the other shelf, packs it full of stuff, puts it on his shoulder and he walks off. Nothing they can do. He's not allowed to intercept him, he's not allowed to confront him, he's not allowed to ask him anything, he must just let him walk out. He says, and then they report it to the cops, and the cops just also don't do anything. It's, you know, it's a homeless person, he's struggling. He says, so what these guys do is they go down to Hastings, West Hastings Street there in East Van, and they set up they sell the stuff that they steal, so they get money for whatever drugs or whatever their poison is. So, you know, there's not no crime. I guess there's no violent crime, and I guess also the thing is there's a lot less crime. I mean, it's not like in South Africa. In South Africa, you know, things are a little bit different. You need security and you need all of that. And I've been thinking about what the difference is and what makes the difference. And I think the problem is, you know, in South Africa, there's a huge income disparity. There's a lot of poor people. Yeah, yes, you've got poorer people and you've got some really poor people. But as a percentage of the whole, I think it's a tiny little percentage. It's a small percentage. So London drugs and those guys, well, they just write it off. It's, you know, these guys are stealing stuff and that's fine. And as far as the car thieves go, they will be setting up a task force now to go after it. It never was a major problem before. So whereas in South Africa, you really have a lot of poor people, and that's where the problem comes in. And not to say that every poor person steals, but I mean, it is, if you don't have food to eat, you know, the odds of you starting to steal stuff is going to be a lot bigger than if you are healthy and have food to eat and live a good life, I guess. So, yeah, interesting concept. I mean, I still feel 100 times safer here than I felt in South Africa. I still let Angelique go out to the beach and hang out till 11 o'clock at night walking around town because, okay, it only gets dark then. But still, I still feel a lot more comfortable. Any which way. All right, well, that's enough rambling for today. You all must have a good day. I think the bottom line is there's crime everywhere. There's a lot less, and there's a lot less violent crime here. There's been a few attacks, you know, where a drunk guy would hit a woman and stuff like that. It happens everywhere, but not on the scale that we are used to back home. All right, folks, have a good one.